Welcome to my channel. My name is Phung, and I'm here to talk about study abroad. Looking back in time, my life literally went upside down when I moved from Vietnam to the US. So if I were to go back in time and met myself at 16 when I was preparing for my college applications, here are the advices that I would tell her. About 8.5 years ago, I left Vietnam to the US for studying abroad. And throughout the journey, I learned lots of lessons, met new friends, had lots of experiences. However, I also experienced hardships and struggles that no one on the internet talked about. So I wanted to make this series to share my own personal experiences and also some of the stories that I heard from friends about life studying abroad, so that you can have a better and accurate view about what life looks like when you move across the countries. The first advice I'll give to myself back then, or any of you who are interested in studying abroad right now, is to prepare to be alone most of the time. Back in high school, I was in student council. I went on doing lots of activities, had lots of friends. I also participated in nonprofit organization. I did volunteers. I did events. I run some sort of scavenger hunt race, etc. And life was really crowded and really sociable for me. Not saying that I lived in the city in Vietnam, so my friends were just a call away. Whenever we're done with classes, we'll just call each other, and then ta-da, someone will appear and took me out on a snack date, or someone would hang around with me in a coffee shop and then did our homework together. But when I moved from Vietnam to the US and attended a school in a rural area in Illinois state, my life just revolved around classes, dorms, and cafeteria for a while. Because I didn't have a car, I didn't know the transportation system, I didn't have friends who could drive me around to explore new places, just like when I was in Vietnam. So that was the time when I felt deeply lonely. And it happened to most of my friends too, especially the beginning period of moving to a different country and kind of relearn the system again. I would say just think about what would you do when all of this social support, all the knowledge that you acquired about, like how to navigate everything in your country disappeared. What would you do then, and how would you tackle with loneliness? The second advice I will give myself back then is bring a hobby with her to the US. Continue the conversations of feeling loneliness when you move from one country to another and start learning a new system again. During this time, you will feel lots of stress, and you also feel confused about what would you do next. And all this chaos going on in your life needed a point of comfort. And I would say hobby is one of the comfort that you can bring easily from your home country to the new country. For example, you can bring, like a notebook if you are a writer, or you can bring yourself the small instrument that you have back home, or even, if you're interested in making videos, just bring that with you and continue doing it when you move to new places. Because moving to a new country and stop seeing the familiar things, yourself will start freaking out and then stressing out about every new things, especially if you are a little on a sensitive side like me. So having something that feels like home, some things that reminded you of yourself back home, of the life that you had back then, would create this continuance of life and the sense of familiarity to help you tackle with the first few months that were really challenging for international students. The third advice I will give you is take it slow when it comes to learning a new culture. During my first year here in the US, I had this urge to learn everything about this culture, and I would freak out and punish myself if I didn't behave a certain way, like, Americans. I was so stressed out and felt really bad about myself. However, fast forward until now, 8 years later, I still find myself pick up some random, culture piece here and have to learn it and, accept it and sometimes criticize it. It is a long journey to learn a new culture, and sometimes it's endless. So it's okay to take it slow. My fourth advice for you is not trusting people a lot, even when they're from your own country. And throughout my years here, I had multiple times being lied to, being turned down, or made use of by people who are from my country or people who are from other countries, including people here. There are people who lied about, their age, about their origin, about their history, or about, their situation so that they can evoke my empathy. And there are people who got really clever and tricked you in buying something that you eventually realize it was a scam. I had a recent reflection on, my experience and my friends' stories, and I comes to learn that there were so many scamming that happened to international students that no one talked about. It could be a phishing link, it can be an investment opportunity that turned out to be a scam, a fake check. Someone borrowed your money because they were in trouble and they never returned. Because you're moving to a new country, you didn't have this sense of, who are the good people and who are the bad people. So it will be really hard for you to discern whether you should do it or not, or whether this is a good thing or a bad thing for yourself. So please have a second thought when you decide to trust someone. Last but not least, my fifth advice for you is don't treat this as an escape. Many of us have this fantasy of leaving everything behind and moving to a new country where no one knows you and get to decide your life again. However, in the long term, your problems in the past will eventually arise and catch up with you. And it's not only when you sit down and confront with what happened in the past that you would be able to, continue move on with life happily and peacefully. I would suggest instead of, run away from the problem or run away from your old self or your old culture, take some time to sit down and reflect on your old life or your old country, because now you have the chance to travel to a new place where people value different things. So you have this broader view of looking at things. So take this time to, jot down your thoughts, evaluate the old situation, learn from the past, and then start working on yourself. So we got to the end of this video, and those are the 5 advice that I'll give to myself back then, and I hope that you can learn something from them too. If you're interested in this topic, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to make more videos about studying abroad, covering each topic. And that's it for now. Thank you for listening and see you next time.